For our next conversation, please welcome back Moderator Jabari Young, Senior Writer Forbes and Editorial Lead ForbesBLK, and panelist Yelitsa Jean Charles, Founder and CEO Healthy Roots Dolls, April Showers, CEO Afro Unicorn, and DeeDee Wright-Ward, CEO Purpose Holdings.
Y'all gotta do louder than that now. These are 3 CEOs here. Come on, show them some love. So far, so good? Yes? Phenomenal, phenomenal. Well, listen, you know their names already. Have anybody ever seen The Toys That Made Us on Netflix? Raise your hand. Of course, April did. Phenomenal documentary, right? And a lot of you didn't raise your hand, so you definitely need to go watch it, right? I learned about that documentary watching this young lady right here in the pink in April Showers, right? Her licensing business, Afro Unicorn, I mean, the intellectual property around it, amazing. How many people in here has their own business, intellectual property, selling t-shirts or anything like that? Like, raise your hand. Phenomenal. So you guys should have your ears wide open for this particular conversation, because the world of intellectual property, this is a $66 billion industry, according to Obvious World. And within that, right, $20.9 billion, right, that's all licensing money. And these 3 sisters up here, they're all collecting it right now, right? And I'm gonna start by asking each one of you, and I'll start with April Showers. I'll do you first, April, right? When you think of licensing, right, what's the one word that comes to mind?
Scalability.
Scalability. Wow. Why scalability?
It's the fastest way to grow your brand, to get into mass distribution.
Mass distribution, okay. DeeDee, when you think of licensing, what's the one word that comes to mind?
Ownership.
Ownership. Why
Ownership. You know, lending to April's thought, ownership allows you to scale. I work with a lot of people. I have the largest Black-owned toy company in the nation, internationally distributed. And thank you. One of the things that I'm able to do is, you know, I saw a lot of hands go up for the people who own their licenses. Today, I can take your idea, turn it into a concept, turn it into a prototype, and get you into major retail. So ownership is everything.
Yeah, Yelitsa?
For me, it would have to be opportunity. When I created Healthy Roots Dolls, it was a very small idea, but looking at IP and how it can help me expand my brand and work with different manufacturing partners across categories outside of just the dolls that I create. There's so much more that I can do and so much more impact I can have in children's lives.
Yeah. April, I want to kick things off really and kind of diving into your business, Afro Unicorn, right? Such an amazing product. I mean, April saw a unicorn, right? When we think of unicorns, we think of the white horses and all of that. She said, hey, why can't a black unicorn exist, right? And then went and do it. And you're wearing the outfit right now. You see it. Show it off. Go ahead. There you go. When you talk about your business, right, for those people who may not have heard of Afro Unicorn, how would you describe it? How would you explain it? Take people into the world of Afro Unicorn, because I want them to leave here and go find your product and buy it.
So it's easy for me to explain Afro Unicorn. I say it's the modern day Hello Kitty. So Afro Unicorn being a licensed character brand, I am the first Black woman to have a fully licensed character brand in major retail. Thank you. What that means is that my products sit on shelves directly next to Disney characters and Marvel characters and Nickelodeon characters. So that is what it is for me and Afro Unicorn. What did you say?
As far as, you know, well, listen, in your business too, it's not just that Afro Unicorn. You have party supplies.
Right. So that's why I say it's the modern day Hello Kitty, because I'm in so many different categories. So whatever you think of Hello Kitty on, that's basically Afro Unicorn. So I have cakes and fruit snacks and pool. Everybody, please go buy them pool supplies at Walmart. They're Walmart, pool rings, pool beach balls. We have apparel and bedding. We're in 25 different categories. We've put out at least 500 different SKUs. It's a lot of different products. It is a lifestyle brand.
Yeah. DeeDee, Purpose Holdings, you made a great transition, right? And I want you to talk about your transition from music, because you were in the music world. Now, I found out about DeeDee's product because I was in Walmart looking for Afro Unicorn, right? If you're looking for Afro Unicorn in Walmart, it's not in the toy section. It's in the party supply section, right?
Well, it's in wherever you will find
party
Disney
supply
characters. So I'm in 15 different categories at Walmart.
Right.
Party, bakery, like it's all over the store. We have plush. So we are in toys, but we're in plush.
Right. Well, I'm in the toy section.
Yeah.
And I'm turning them all around, and I'm like, all right, well, let's see if I find some more black CEOs. And then the first one I turn around, my daughter's with me because I'm trying to teach her about licensing, right? After April got me, like, motivated. I'm trying to teach my daughter, and I see DeeDee when I turn around this action figure of a rapper, right? And that is explain how you made that transition from music, and talk about your background fast into Purpose Holdings.
Sure. So I was in the music industry for about 15 years prior to becoming a parent. Switched from the music industry to the fashion industry for about 10 years. I'm dating myself, and that's also fine. So did 15 years in the music industry, 10 years in toys, and in 2019, I saw an opportunity, having used my celebrity network and previous experience in music, to do a toy product with a very prominent female athlete. We'll leave it there because I'm under NDA. We were able to bring that toy to market. After we did a toy with that athlete, we went to the most prominent male athlete in the industry, and I'm still under NDA. And I saw a bigger opportunity within the toy business. The toy business, if you know anything about it, it's about 90% white. So there's not a lot of people within the toy business that looks like us. However, they're producing all of our toys. And if you know anything about toys, toys are a form of media. As an African-American woman, my uncle couldn't be here today, but he's like a 50-year voting activist. He's right here in Atlanta. But said all that to say, as an African-American woman, I've grown up with the understanding and the concept that to control your story, you have to control your media. So when we think about toys, who's controlling that story, that media, and who's responsible for putting certain objects, that are reflective of our children in our children's hands? So said all that to say, I saw an opportunity to bring purpose to toys, pun intended, and that's exactly what I did. So currently we have about half a dozen brands at market. My first brand being Naturalistas, which is the world's first natural hair line of fashion dolls. So when you think of fashion dolls, that category is Barbie. So we're giving Barbie hell right now, and it's so much fun. Thank you. Second brand we brought to market was, and I hope that some of you guys can relate to this, but it's called HBCU dolls. HBCU dolls are a doll line that were designed to honor the legacy of HBCUs, and it was our first licensing partner with a woman by the name of Brooke Hart-Jones, who again owns her trademark, owns her brand, didn't have the network that I had in retail, and we were able to support Brooke and to bring her to market. So when you think about Purpose Toys, think of two things. One, half a dozen brands, more coming soon. Two, we are a pipeline to major retail for toy entrepreneurs of color, and we're beginning to do this across industries. So Purpose Toys is the start. We're going into Purpose Media, Purpose Licensing, Purpose Music, the whole 9 yards. But the point is, share your resources when you have them.
Absolutely, yeah. Yelitsa, you are, now this sister is a former under 30 alum, right? Give it up for that. She's on our list. And one of the questions that I wanted to know about your brand, Healthy Roots Dolls, how has that helped you, right? Because when we talk about sitting up here, and I know, April, you taught me how you have to do your own marketing when you're, owning your business like this, right? But how's that helped you? How's that helped the brand? I know you're young and still growing. We'll get in that in a minute. But how's being an under 30 alum? Has that helped the business at all?
I'm here.
Yeah. That's true.
So that's one of the things that have helped. Under 30 happened at a pivotal moment for my business. So we had this big viral moment where I shared myself and my doll, and a lot of people connected with that because, wow, I've never seen a doll that looked like me before, had hair like me, that you could actually wash and style and have fun with. And so from there, we were able to get a Forbes feature, which then got the attention of retail buyers, which then got us on Target shelves in over 1,600 Targets. And I've been able to use thank you. And I've been able to use the network that I've gotten from Forbes, connecting with other founders, much like you're connecting with people here, to share networks, share resources, share community, share stories, and that's furthered my ability to grow my business.
Yeah. One of the things, when we were on our prep call, one of the things that struck about, that was interesting to me is that when you guys are all headed out, you're networking, you're going into these licensing conferences and things of that nature, how open people are, right? You were telling me that, when you go to these events, like you're thinking like, oh my God, I'm the only black person here. What am I? But these people are very open. Share your experiences about and why it's important to go to and show up to these expos.
So I started my company, Healthy Roots Dolls, as a class project. in my undergrad where I just like designed this little doll, and a lot of classmates said, you should pursue this, there's an opportunity here because of the lack of representation in toys. And it wasn't until I started going to more events where I learned more about the toy industry. I went to Toy Fair, and I just went to my first licensing expo because April recommended I do it. I showed up, and I made so many great connections. And it's because of going to those events, coming to events like this, that I was able to meet people who introduced me to a manufacturing partner, helped me find designers that I could work with to take my illustrations and turn them into the 3D CADs, and then understand the ins and outs of how you build a product from the ground up, how do you market, accelerator programs, scholarship opportunities, grants, all these things, because I'm showing up in these rooms, telling stories, sometimes walking around with my doll, which I did at Essence Fest, which led to me winning the New Voices Fund pitch competition in 2018, I think. Wow. But showing up, talking to people, talk to people, and being open to sharing your story. It can feel very scary, but you're not going to progress if you're not open and sharing what you're working on and asking for help.
Yeah. April, you go to one in Vegas all the time, and you tell me, hey, when I went out there, I was learning so much. What are some of the things that you can learn showing up at these expos? Because it is very important to show up, right? And when you go and you're in these places, what are you learning? What are you picking up?
Possibility.
Possibility.
I'm a manifester. I'm a visionary. So I want to see how far I can take this. So there's no difference between me, Hello Kitty, Mickey Mouse. There's no difference. So if I see that what they're doing, I now know what's possible and beyond for me. So I really go to these events to network, to find out who's who. I also go to make sure they don't forget me.
Yeah.
That's very, very important, that you have to show up in these places because you want to be top of mind. So I'm always in the places to be top of mind, but then I also want to see, okay, if they doing that, I can do it too.
Yeah. What's the path to get into big box stores? For people in the crowd that have their own business, they want to get into Walmart, they want to get into a Target. How do you get there for DeeDee and April? Because I know you guys are deep into that lane.
Well, for me, it's all about building the relationships and building the brand behind it. I'm a lifestyle brand. I say you cannot have a lifestyle brand without a movement behind it. So I created raving fans behind Afro Unicorn, which actually got the likes of Walmart, Target, City Trends, CVS to reach out to us because we created this movement on social that they saw, oh wow, this is something that people want and that people need. But I'm sure they can speak to different programs that both Target and Walmart actually have. I'm very unique, hence a unicorn, in the way that we got into retail.
Yeah, DeeDee, what was your path?
Well, my path was different because I'd been in business for so long. I knew a lot of people in C-suite positions. I was able to call a guy, loosely quoting Kendrick Lamar, but I was able to call a guy who called a guy who was, the head of the 6th largest toy company in the world and get my deals done. So my pathway isn't necessarily accessible to a lot of people, which is why I say it is so important to share your resources. Building a multi-million-dollar business for myself is kind of the easy part. Positioning myself as a sort of aggregator for other entrepreneurs and prospective licensors to build, I'm not the brightest, I'm not the tallest, I'm not the smartest. God knows I'm an introvert, right? There are people in this audience right now that'll have the potential of putting my business to shame. It is a goal for me at this point in my life, as I reach sort of like the sunset of my life, to make sure that I empower the next generation of entrepreneurs, of licensors to get out there. Thank you for that. But to also not have, we don't all have to start drop shipping from our living room. There's enough of us in business and in important positions, more importantly in green lighting positions, where we can lend a hand and help a friend within the community. So that's my goal.
Yeah. Got it? Yeah, chime in.
So I also come from a path that's a bit more non-traditional in the sense with April, building a brand organically that caught the attention of retailers, but there are accessible ways and tangible ways for you to get their attention, because that wasn't the first time Target saw me. It was probably the 6th time Target had seen or heard from me. They have accelerator programs for different types of products. So they have a retail accelerator that you can apply to that takes you through the process of how to get ready for retail, helping you with your manufacturing process, your go-to-market strategy, all those things. And they also have supplier diversity programs that you can find contacts for to learn more about and how you can get into that pipeline. And then there are tons of grants and opportunities. Look at the New Voices Foundation. They are constantly doing pitch competitions and connecting people with retailers because they want to see more Black-owned businesses on shelves. So those are 3 points that you can reach to get in touch with retailers.
Absolutely. And you followed up with Target, right?
Yes.
There you go. There you go. What are some of the challenges right now? We've got about 5 minutes left, but small businesses, right? Listen, interest rates are high. People are running out of money, right? And the job market is a little bit, unstable when it comes to certain sectors. But when it comes to small business, which is the foundation of this country, right, on Main Street, what are some of the challenges that you sisters are still seeing that you still kind of overcoming?
With my company, Healthy Root Stalls, I was one of the first 100 Black women to raise $1 million, but that's the problem. It shouldn't be only 100 Black women that have raised $1 million in venture capital. And the problem to me is that we're over-taught. There's always a program for a 5-week session, a boot camp, but nobody's writing checks. Who's just writing checks? Because I wasn't able to start my company until my college gave me a $4,000 check, which is not a lot of money, but that's something that people can work with. And so that's what I think the challenge is now, is people need to start cashing checks.
April, what do you see?
The lack of support.
Lack of support.
The lack of support.
And is lack of support amongst who?
Amongst us.
Okay.
Understanding that we are, I think, 13% of the population.
Yes, 14.
14?
Coming.
Okay, okay. We're 14% of the population, because before I would lead with saying, I always use Walmart because they're the largest retailer and one of my biggest partners, but the African-American shopper is only 12%. And when I say that, people are like, oh, they're only 12%. Yeah, it's only 14% of us in the US, so it matters. So not only do I have to have all 12% support Afro Unicorn, I also have to get the other as well. But I need the 12%.
Yes.
So I need you to tell somebody, know somebody, know somebody, tell somebody, know somebody about Afro Unicorn. That is the challenge.
Yeah. DeeDee, what do you see?
Oh, gosh. Well, as we are only 14% of the population, we have a spending potential of $1.6 billion. It is beyond my goal for us as a community to begin to control that 1.6, to begin to recirculate it within the community. What's that?
1.7 billion.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right.
I want y'all to get the numbers right.
I stand corrected. But for us to control that, so I think in terms of challenges for me, as an introvert entrepreneur, and we exist, it's getting the word out. It's the marketing. We're restructuring our marketing team now. We have this big push in 25. You'll see me a little more, still wearing black, still quiet. But I think the challenges for my company is never money. Again, if you know people, you can get things done. But it's my goal is not only for myself. My goal is for us. I have a lot. I've done a lot. I've been so blessed for so long. It's time to share. So I want to see you guys up here next year. I want to be in that audience supporting you, we want to get in the position. We want to focus on our ownership. We want to focus on the recirculation of the Black dollar in the community. And we want to focus on, becoming a fully realized, self-sufficient community, controlling as many verticals as we can.
Yeah. As we wrap this panel, about a minute left, a question for all 3 of you. What's the best advice you received about running a business, April?
Kobe Bryant, show up every day.
Show up every night. DeeDee?
Oh, gosh. My grandmother, have a plan, but in the process of pursuing a plan on deviating from it the more you learn on the journey. So, it's as you pursue things, you learn things. Don't be afraid to take what you've learned and just alter your path a little bit. That might, sort of invite you to a pathway that gets you to your promised land.
Yelitsa?
Don't say no before you can say yes. It's literally what one of
Say that again. That was powerful.
Don't say no before you can say yes. Essentially, do not say that you can't do something before you've even tried to do it. And that was something that was said to me by one of my senior friends in college before I started working on Healthy Root Stalls. Because it's very easy to be like, oh, I don't know anything about the toy industry. I'm not even going to look into it. It's like, okay, go find a professor that's worked at Hasbro and talk to them. and see who they have in their network. And do you know someone who knows anything about producing products and has gotten something on retail shelves? It's your job to figure out how to get something done, not to say that it can't be done.
Absolutely. April, I want to definitely please give a round of applause for that. Just to touch on the support, April supported me. She sent me a package of Afro Unicorn products, and for my daughter, obviously. So I give it to my daughter, and my daughter's very, very like picky with toys. And once she left for school one morning, I go in her room, and on the top of her pillow, there's a big giant black Afro Unicorn. I definitely sent it to April. To let you know that these kids also want these products, so definitely support. April, Yelitsa, DeeDee, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.